All right, Ryan Benson here again. This is Module 3. We are learning about cyber security, internet governance, privacy, security, all that good stuff. And the question for the week is encryption. What is encryption? Is it our responsibility? Is it big corporations' responsibility? So let's see if we can define what encryption is to help us figure that answer out. What is encryption? If you are my age or older, you have most likely seen the Matrix movies. If you haven't, it's a trilogy. Great movie. It's got Keanu Reeves in as main character. Really fantastic movie. But do you remember watching movies when you were a little kid, and there'd be somebody hacking into quote a mainframe, and you just kind of saw jumbled numbers and letters on screen? That's kind of like encryption, kind of like this picture that you can see here. That's basically what encryption is. Now there is code and then there's encryption, and those are two different things. They are similar, but they're different. Code is ones and zeros, and you write code to be able to for a computer to work, basically. Um, and encryption is basically just jumbled up mess. And a company that is at the forefront of encryption is Apple. I actually used to work as a technical specialist at an Apple store where I live. Did that for about a year and a half, so I've got a little bit of knowledge on the back end of what that is. And actually, as you can see here, was encryption. This is copied and pasted from their website. I'll have a reference at the end for that. But to better describe what it is, this reads, encryption protects trillions of online transactions every day. When you're shopping, from paying a bill, using iMessage or FaceTime, you're using encryption. Fun little fact, mail is actually more encrypted, or I'm sorry, that's backwards. iMessage is actually more encrypted than mail. A lot of people like to email because they feel like it's safer, more secure. But if you have an iPhone or a Mac computer, it is actually safer to send something over iMessage. So it says it turns your data into indecipherable text that can be read only by those with the right key. Um, I'm assuming you've unlocked a lock before, and if you've had the wrong key, sometimes like you have the same size key and it fits, but then you're turning it and you get frustrated because it just doesn't unlock and you can't do anything. That's what encryption is like. Unless you have the right key, you're not going to be able to see what that reads or whatever it is that it is, because it's just jumbled up mush messiness. And so Apple has kind of been at the forefront of that. It continues to go on. They kind of get a little like showboaty there, and they say we're the first company to actually blah 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 automatically include. We were also refused to add a backdoor. And this became a really big controversy. Was it last year with the school shooting? And the perpetrator of the school shooting had an iPhone, and authorities wanted to be able to get access into that iPhone, and they said, "Hey, Apple, you manufacture these phones, you write the software for it. You should be able to get in this phone, get us in." And Apple came back and said, "We apologize to the family and our families affected, and we understand, but we can't do this." And there's really I believe there's actually a lawsuit that occurred, and I was working at Apple at the time, so people would come in and talk to me about this all the time. But Apple said once that backdoor is created, then it's done. Like you can throw the plans away, but you're never going to be able to undo that. So they stood their ground and protected their customers and their customers' data and said we're not going to do that. So the question is it your responsibility or their responsibility, big corporations' responsibility, to make sure that you're safe and protected and your data is encrypted? Um, I would say it is the big corporations' responsibility. If you're buying into their ecosystem or their products, you're putting your trust in them. That they need to be able to protect your data and protect you. At the same time, though, you need to be responsible of and cognizantly aware of what data you are allowing them to have access to. So if you don't want to be able to see, if you don't want them to be able to see your location, see where you've been, things that you like and dislike, then turn that off. Don't let them be able to see that. So yes, I lean more towards big corporations being able to or having uh, having to make sure that your information is encrypted and protected. I am kind of biased though because I did work at Apple and they're pretty good at that. Uh, but I think it could be both. But it is definitely the corporation's responsibility to make sure that you are protected and that you are safe. So here's my reference. Love this unit. It was great. I like encryption. It's interesting to me. So I will talk to you next time.